much for that question, and thank you for your remarks. Pakistan's digital connectivity infrastructure overall, I think, has been a challenge for all of us. And that is something which is of critical value, especially given today when the whole, I think, every single aspect of our life, every single sector is now really transitioning towards technology. So whether it's our daily lives or it's our social sector with our education, our health systems, Sarah's here, whether it's logistics or all the way up to national security, it is all becoming about technology. And in that frame, we have to see that there's a critical baseline which is absolutely fundamental for any conversation around digital, which is digital connectivity. Historically, till about a month ago, Pakistan has been operating on 274 megahertz of spectrum. And this is since the inception of the telecom and the dot-com era, and through 3G, 4G we brought into the country in 2000, between 2014 and 16. But since then, even though over the last 2 years we've seen a 25% increase in data usage in the country, we're consistently seeing an increase in young population. About over 150 million of us are young people, most of whom are digital first generation. So the consumption of data has been sort of exponentially increasing, but our supply side was seriously constrained. So last month, with the auction that happened, it was not just the 5G auction, but we actually auctioned 5 new bands in the country, starting from 700 all the way to 3500 megahertz, and which essentially means that not only will this is going to be a first time when 5G is coming in, but our core connectivity usage, which is that of 4G, will also significantly improve. So an average experience of a user we will see improving. The auction that happened was, we were able to auction 480 megahertz of spectrum, which is the largest single auction that the world has seen. And that has risen our overall capacity to 750 megahertz, over 750 megahertz, which is something which was absolutely critical at this point in time. So this is not something that is additional, incremental, just a cherry on top, but this was a fundamental requirement for our connectivity situation. 98% of Pakistanis operate on mobile wireless broadband. Only 2% of our country operates on fiberized networks, which is the second problem. You were asking me about what our priorities would be. Now, the second challenge is the level of fiberization. Only 16% of our towers are fiberized at this point. Our target is that in the next 3 years, we will increase that to almost 60%. Our house passes, which are around somewhere between 2 to 3 million, we have to increase it to at least up to 10 million in the next 2 years. And that's our national fiberization targets. In order to make it possible, last year, the Honorable Prime Minister, whose absolute priority is the digital nation Pakistan vision, he was able to remove all right-of-way charges, which means that the fiberization business becomes very lucrative in terms of investment and very ready for private sector to take lead. So those are some of the things that are happening on the digital connectivity side. But I would also like to add that over the last year and a half, since I've been in office, we've been able to land 3 submarine cables, 2 of which will hopefully light up this year, another will light up next year. So that kind of also increases our live connectivity to the world. We've also signed MOU with the whole of Central Asia, which essentially means that we will be becoming the data transit hub for the whole of Central Asia. We have already operationalized our data transit from China to Karachi through our optic fiber backbone, and our alternate now routes will connect us to Central Asia, whether it's through China or through Afghan corridor. But that agreement is there. We have our international development partners like ADB, World Bank, everybody is supporting us in that effort. So the idea is that from Karachi all the way to Central Asia, and Central Asia through Caspian to Azerbaijan and Europe, we develop a complete loop of digital connectivity. So creating digital identity is a cradle to grave concept of, that how your digital vault in your mobile phones should carry all the data that you require, all the way from your birth certificate, education, health, property, business, and everything that you hopefully are able to achieve in life. And then on the second side is the whole delivery part, right? So whether it is citizen services delivery, less relevant to this conversation, but one thing that I want to put out there is that we've already put out an RFP for digitizing and logging of the RLCOs across the country. So all the regulations and that are required for any business, so let's suppose tomorrow I decide to open a poultry farm, I will just be able to put in a query and get all the relevant regulations out of the system. So that really eases out the investment part, right? And then on top of that, we will be building, we are actually already building the business portal. So the investment part comes in here, that now that we're building these systems and we're ensuring transparency, we're ensuring efficiency, and we're coming up with these world-class digital public infrastructure, I think therefore this is the peak time for the European countries and companies to invest in Pakistan. And also, we're also very open to everyone being a part of this journey. I think GDPR is a wonderful work done. I was speaking with the ambassador last night. It's very difficult to get all these different countries and the diversity together to agree on a regulation, right? And that's also a challenge that we face in Pakistan. But the way the European Union has been able to navigate through that, I think it's phenomenal. And GDPR is something that we also use as a baseline for a lot of our regulations that are coming in. But the idea is, so whether it is from a policy consultancy, from an operations partnership, we're the best destination, when it comes to global outsourcing. So, we're able to not just quality but also cost competitive services that we can give from Pakistan. So there is just so much opportunity right now with a 240 million population, over 60% of us being young people. We have 200 million mobile subscribers, 150 million mobile internet users. This is a big population, it's a huge market, but also on the governance side, the whole of government approach. And like you said, Naz, the SIFC today is here to ensure that continuity. The whole of government approach, whether it is the political, the military leadership, the bureaucratic leadership, everybody is on a single page to ensure that this continues. The whole policy cycle that we've seen be disruptive time and again continues regardless of the government changes. I'm not going to deep dive, but just in a single line, along with the digital public infrastructure on the citizen, governance, and business layers, we also have one of the most robust payment rails, which is RAS, and which also kind of makes the whole ecosystem absolutely conducive to doing business. We're now embedding RAS, moving towards a cashless economy, which essentially means more transparency, better transaction times, and overall business and investment facilities.